Hey y'all. The secret to avoiding burnout. Oh yeah, we got a lot to tell you. I'm waiting on the okay, here is my host. Let's see where she go. Uh, okay, Mickey, why can't I? Where'd you go? There we go. Hey everybody, come on in. We're starting right at 7. I want to give everybody a chance to come in, and the lovely host is joining. There you go. Hey, hey. Hey,
Hi,
pretty.
thank you. Same to you. Love the lipstick.
Thank you. I know you're hosting, but I'm gonna put in a free gift for our community. Is that cool with you?
It is, it is. And really, let's co-host.
All right, I'm down. I am
Perfect.
down. All right, so I'm typing in a free art of balance. I don't know. What do
Yay.
you think they want? I think they want the art of balance. Or let's do the burnout proof bun. Oh, what do I want to give away? What do you think, Mickey? So I have an art of balance guide, or the burnout proof bundle. Which one do you
I
want our community to have?
love, well, I know already your art of balance, and I
Yeah,
really, really
let's
loved it.
do it. All right, all right.
Perfect. So
Let's
now,
do that one.
why can't I see you?
You can't see me?
No,
Okay, hold on. I can see you.
you can see me. I can't
Hmm.
see you. I was seeing you earlier.
It might be because I'm typing. Just give me a second.
Maybe.
Um, hey, everybody who's joining. We're getting started in just a second. Let us know where you're joining from as you're hopping on.
Please let us know. I love seeing some familiar names here.
Yes, some of your people up here.
Yes, it's
Awesome. All right. So if I'll put it in. Art of balance.
good evening, everyone. If you're on the East Coast,
Mickey, where are you on the East Coast?
I'm in North Carolina, close to Raleigh, and so not so far from you because you're in Atlanta, which
Yeah.
makes it very easy because now we're on the same time
Yes,
zone.
yes. I didn't know you were in Raleigh.
Yes, loving it here.
How long you
We
been
moved
there?
almost 2 years now, and we've been loving it. We moved from DC, right, like during the pandemic and all,
Uh-huh.
and then loving the experience of being more, it's a laid back mentality here
Yes.
when you get down south south.
Yes.
Um, like I love it. I love how people, it's just less stressful.
Hmm.
Somehow I didn't realize when you lived into a very crowded space and with a lot of activity. So I've loved my time in DC. DC was fantastic, and DC is a fast-paced
Yes.
city.
Hmm.
Uh, and I didn't feel it as when I was living in it. It's only when I came out that I was like, oh
Yeah.
my,
Yeah.
like we used to live that way.
And
Like we used to be go, 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 go all the time.
yeah.
And yeah,
And then you're slowed down now. We have
yeah.
I feel like, let's see. Kelvin is not slowed down. He is in Harlem. And then we have Ivana from the UK. Hey, what's up, y'all? So I
Wow.
know Harlem is fast paced for sure. It's probably super cold right now too.
Sure. I'm
All
sure.
right, you ready to jump right on in?
I am.
7:02. Welcome, everybody. If you're just joining, guess what? You haven't missed a thing. So we're gonna get going. Nikki, I'll let you run the show, and then I'll back you up, and let's just do that.
Perfect. So I am so excited that you're taking this time to have this discussion. It's been on my mind for a very long time.
Mhm.
And as most of you know, Dr. RJ is known as a self-love doctor. And
Yes.
I love her work. I love how she really, like, so not only does she teaches self-love, but she actually lives it. And it's been wonderful to see how she applies it in her busy life and schedule. Now, people don't know this, but you and I are actually the same age here. Um, and so my realm of work is that I work with ladies above 40 and plus that
Mhm.
are dealing with the transition into menopause. And as we know, we're a group that we're more at risk. And this is what I wanted to ask you, Dr. RJ, is how do we actually navigate this time of our life where, career wise, we're like blossoming,
Mhm.
right? We're like in such an place of power, all of that, we're giving it all. So how do we avoid the burnout route
Yes.
and us living out of that stress and anxiety all the time?
Well, let me just warn all of you watching, especially the ladies, stress makes you old, right? And
Yes.
fat. Old and fat. If you don't remember anything else, watch me. Old and fat. Stress
Oh,
makes you both of those things. No, this is not just for women. You can stay on. We will be talking mainly. One of our community members is asking, is this
yes.
just for women? No, you
No,
can
no, no,
stay.
no.
Everyone needs to be educated about this. Yes, we're catering this topic towards women in their 40s, but everyone is welcome because the more you know, the better. And we can all support each other. So stress makes you what? Old and fat. And there's
All
science behind that. Now, in addition to being into self-love, I'm actually a neuroscience girl. So
yes, you are.
I'm a clinical psychologist. Neuroscience is my first love. And so everything that we're talking about, even though we're just having a conversation, it's based upon science. It's not just something that Mickey
Yes,
and I woke up
yes,
and thought about yesterday. It's the real deal. We didn't just roll over yesterday and say, hey, this is something we thought about it or whatever. You have years and years and years of experience between the two of us
yes,
in this field. So it's definitely a treat. So it says, can maybe it'll help me to be a better man for my women. First of all, women plural, LOL at the women plural. Maybe it should be woman. I don't know. That's not my business, but absolutely. So please stay on, whether it's your woman or your women. I don't know what you're doing over there. You are welcome to stay and
yes,
learn
you are.
more. So, if you're just joining, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are on the
Welcome.
East Coast. I'm in Atlanta. Mickey's in Raleigh, North Carolina. We have some amazing people from New York City or from Harlem, from the UK. Let us know where you are. I see a lot of my Atlanta people up here. Welcome. So, tonight we are talking about avoiding burnout, especially for women 40 and above. And
Yes.
so we're both of us are above 40.
Oh,
And so
but
yes, we're
we're saying that out of love. Like this is a fun phase of our lives. Like
yeah,
it's fabulous to be in this stage of our life. Like I enjoy every minute of it. And at the same time, we absolutely need to know that we have to have those strategies around stress.
yeah.
And because, yeah, like you said, it makes us old and fat.
And yep, old and fat. And so this is the thing. So my 40s have been amazing. Like
Mm,
probably the best decade of my life so far. And I hear that 50s are even better. My
yes,
40s have been amazing. I was crazy in my 20s, like crazy. So chasing all the things and just chasing. Everything was a chase, a chase, a chase, a chase. And then my 30s was when I started to get burned out. In my early
yeah,
30s, it's when my kids were super small. I'm still chasing this dream, having to prove myself because I'm a young doctor, wondering if people were taking me seriously. So I'm overworking, overworking, overworking. Finally, by force, when I was around 32, I realized that I would not survive on that path, right? We know that women of color, Black women, are the number one in all categories when we're talking about health risks. So heart disease, stroke, obesity, like all of these different maternal fatalities, like all of these things. And so specifically for women over 40 and women of color, we have to be extra careful because we have additional stressors that no one talks about. And so really quick, I just want to mention why stress makes you what? Old and fat.
Yes, old and fat.
So
That's so true.
I'll talk about the old part and you want to talk about the fat part? You want to do that?
Yes,
All right.
yes,
So
let's do it.
we'll tag team. So the old part. So in our DNA sequence, we have if this is a DNA chain, this is not really how it looks, but kind of like this. Down here is where you have these things called telomeres right here, and telomeres replicate. So there are messengers
Mhm.
in your DNA that continue to replicate and change in your body, in your brain, and so when you are stressed, these telomeres they get all frayed like a shoestring that a dog chewed up, right? And so instead of it being nice and sharp, they'll get frayed, and then they replicate in a frayed way over and over and over and over, and that's what speeds up the aging process. So it's like when you see people in entertainment or a president or whatever, and you're like, oh, they look old after 2 years of this stressful
Yes,
job. It's a thing. It's like a real thing. Like it's not just,
yes.
it's actually happened. Their telomeres are frayed and they're replicating over and over, and that increases the likelihood or the probability of all types of disorders and diseases and ailments and chronic illnesses just from stress, y'all. Like this is not something we're making up. Stress kills more people than we can even count. So stress makes you old and then fat. So let's talk about the fat part.
So the fat, just so everybody knows, that when we're stressed, stress is just this very old wiring system that we have inside of us, right? It's there to actually serve us because in times of need, our ancestor, they needed that to actually survive, right? So when you're stressed, you have two choices. It's either you fight or you run away. So it's a fight or flight response. In terms of our biology, we get to have this incredible hormone that will come in, which is cortisol. Cortisol is amazing because it will come directly, release all of this incredible sugar that goes to our muscles so that we can actually run or fight, right? Like you
I
have this
love that.
increased energy, like it's there for you to run. Yet our brain doesn't make the difference between being late for work,
Yes.
sitting, traffic, or being chased by a lion or a tiger. Like the brain doesn't make the difference. And so you are receiving the same amount of cortisol. So the same surge of sugar is going to come. Now, this sugar, if it's not used, will just be transformed into
Fat.
fat.
Yeah.
Fat. And so the more people are stressed and not moving, the more they are actually just getting
Fat. Yeah.
they're getting fat. And for us, above 40, what we're seeing is that really we're getting fat, we're accumulating fat more into our midsection, which is actually very dangerous
Yeah.
because then we get to have this visceral fat,
Yeah.
meaning fat
Around your
around our organs,
organs. Yeah. Your
which
vital
is
organs.
your vital organs. And so for us, women of color, this is how we get our risk for cardiac
Mm-hmm.
uh, diseases increases, our risk for diabetes, all of that just increases because of the fat around the organs. And so stress, it's a real thing. Like it is one of the main thing that we can actually do to improve our health and longevity and look good.
Yes. Yes. And as y'all can see, we're both super cute. So we're not just telling you something. We're like, we know what we're talking about over here. We're walking that walk.
Yes,
So
yes, you are.
yes, so this is the thing about stress, right? Stress is not a bad thing, and a lot of it is unavoidable. Stress, though, is your body's reaction and response to a situation, to a stressor. So something that stresses me out may not stress Mickey
Yeah.
out, and then vice versa. So the thing to remember is that stress is just a problem to be solved, not a threat to your survival. So as Mickey was saying earlier, your brain doesn't know the difference if you're being chased by a lion or somebody's getting on your nerves at work. Like the cortisol, the blood, your blood sugars, or the sugar is going to dump into your system. Your cortisol is going to increase because your brain doesn't know the difference. Now, one technique you can use is really to just take a deep breath and
Mm.
say, this is just a problem to be solved, not a threat to my survival, and I am highly capable of solving problems. I'll say that again, just in case anybody missed it. Y'all
Please,
ready?
please say it again, because I think we overlook that because we
Yes.
think that it's so easy, so simple. Say it again.
Yes, yes, yes. So, stress, this is what you can do, right? When you're feeling stressed. Now, stress is your body, not my body, not anybody else's body, your body's response to a
Mm.
stressor, a situation, right? And so, when you're feeling stress or experiencing stress, you can say to yourself, stress is just a problem to be solved, not a threat to my survival. I am highly capable of solving problems. Once you do that, then you put your brain on notice that you're not being chased by a lion
Yeah,
and that you can actually handle what's going on.
so good. And so simple, right? Like
Yes.
we can do that anywhere, anywhere we can just stop
Yes.
and like say it and, and hear it inside of us and really take that deep breath, and immediately we will feel the difference inside of our
I'm
mind.
glad you said deep breath because I want everyone put a one in the chat if you've been holding your breath while we're talking, or if you hold your breath during the day. Like so many people just kind of, and they don't even
Yes.
realize it. We don't use the gift of breath enough, and we
Mm.
really need that oxygen flowing through our bodies to create a healthy environment for our cells and for our memory and for all the bodily functions that must happen during the day. So just a simple deep breath will definitely put your body like back on track. So when I say deep breath, it's in through your nose, out through your mouth generally, but you're filling up your belly, your diaphragm like a balloon. So it's not like that. It's
No.
right. And so if you're on now, just try it. Just take a deep in. You can do 3 in, 4 out. Don't even worry about making it fancy, and then recognize how your body feels different. And so often, especially as women, and Nikki, correct me if I'm wrong, but we hold our stress and our attention like in our hips, in our core.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. And so how does that mess us up?
It messes up a lot. And so just think about it. When we breathe, you were talking about the diaphragm. The diaphragm is like the muscle on which our lung rests upon.
Mm.
And so whenever we breathe, the diaphragm goes down. And so it pushes and it massages all of the intestines, all of the visceral that's underneath, right? And most of the time when we feel stress, and some of you can relate to this. You might feel this tightness in your tummy. Like you might feel like this just like a ball or something. Like and some people can even go like to the bathroom. Like we all react differently, but there is a visceral thing that is happening inside of us. And so when we breathe, we're actually allowing all of that to just dissipate, because now the diaphragm is going to come. It's going to gently massage that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a movement going on, and then energy gets to be dispersed instead of being contained. Now it's going to be open a little bit more, and then the rest of the blood flow can now circulate, as well as all the neurological function that's going in. Because think about it, when we're stressed, the other thing, yeah, on the hormonal side, which is so funny, think about it. If you're stressed, is it the time to make babies? No, it's not.
No, it's
And
not gonna happen.
no, not gonna happen. The body, the head, everything is gonna scream, no, the tiger is
Yeah.
running after us. No, no. And so our sex hormones will just shut down completely.
Yeah.
So whenever we're under stress, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone will just go down, like they can't express themselves anymore.
Yep.
And so for us women and men as well, it plays on your testosterone level. So stress, it's just one of the things, and that's actually why it's so aging, because we know that those hormones are actually the main thing that keep us young,
Yes.
youthful, energetical.
So if we're talking about sex hormones, I want to hear some more about that. So we're talking about stress as it relates to sex hormones and as it relates to women 40 and above. Now, let me tell you what I heard, what I know, and
Yeah.
what I heard is that once you hit 40, your sex drive goes up,
Yeah.
up, 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 up. However, if you are stressed, how does that
Mm-hmm.
impact the natural boost in? And I'm asking because I don't know, child, because I'm not stressed, and I'm just letting y'all know. Um, so for the people out there who are stressed, let me just say, we will help you get unstressed. But for the people, the women out there who are stressed, how can it directly impact their desire or their libido, or not even just desire and libido, but the ability to have a meaningful or healthy, I don't know if I can say orgasm on IG Live, they're gonna shut me down, but whatever.
Intimacy, like
Yes.
intimacy, yes.
Okay.
And so whenever we are so, like I was saying, if the tiger is running after you, like your head, the amygdala inside will tell, like the master of the hormone that's right in between our eyebrows over there, it's just going to shut down. It's going to say, no, we
Yep.
can't procreate at this time. So what it does is that testosterone level, instead of being high, which we know, right? If men and women should actually know that between day 10 and 15, that's when ovulation comes. That's when three beautiful hormones come once in a month, which is estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. They come so that we can actually procreate. Now the woman is more seductive. Like, we feel fabulous. We feel on top of everything. Estrogen makes us look beautiful. The hair is more beautiful. The skin is more beautiful. We are more sensual. We are more convincing and more attractive. We are also more positive. So that's why we have more sex during this window. So if we are stressed, what happens is that not only those hormones can't come at that window, but now they will actually tank down. And so for a lot of the clients that I work with, what they've been experiencing is that in time of stress, their libido is actually very flat. And they will also gain weight, like you were saying earlier, stress makes us fat. Now it's just because we have a higher level of cortisol. So in order for us to actually recoup and maintain testosterone, we need to master one hormone, and which is my main message to women. It's always remember oxytocin. So oxytocin is the master of all the hormones in our body. And she is the love hormone, a little bit like you, like Dr. RJ, right? Full of oxytocin. She is the one that when a woman's deliver and have the baby on her, like that's why we have amnesia. We don't remember childbirth pain. That's why human exists, because she's the one that makes us forget the pain. She makes us feel so safe, so loved, and so at peace. So whenever we produce oxytocin, cortisol level will go down and then sex hormone will come up. So how do you produce oxytocin? Do any of you know?
Just they don't know. Just tell them. I mean, some people probably know, but just
Yeah.
tell them.
Okay. So very easy. It is the love hormone. So anything that brings us love, cuddling our loved ones in our arms, even when you're holding your pet. Now, mind you, it needs to be a hug for like 20 seconds. So it's not like the, it's not like, It's like the real embrace, like you're really holding people in your arms. Of course, when you make love, when you have sex, orgasm will give you oxytocin. It's also the deep conversation with your girlfriend or like with someone that's close to you, like those meaningful time, we will produce oxytocin. Meditation also help us produce more oxytocin. And so for us, think that a daily dose, if we aim our day at aiming at producing, being intentional about those interactions, then we're actually going to see our stress level decrease. And then we are fully going to experience a higher level of the beautiful sex hormones in our lives.
So I don't think you told everybody about like your credentials, and we kind of like glossed over it. Make sure our community knows like, yeah,
I didn't say anything,
right.
right? All right. So, for all of the listeners, beautiful listeners, I am Mickey, and I have studied to become first a nurse when I was in Canada, and then after that, I did a 6-year degree to become an osteopath. Here it stands for doctor in osteopathy. Now here, I don't practice as doctor in osteopathy. I've added into that more of the coaching side, which allows me now the freedom to create programs and to be online and to really interact in this way and guide my clients through their health journey. I'm passionate also more now into, the transition into menopause, premenopause, just because it's something that I have gone through myself. So I was thrown into perimenopause at 38, which is very young, and it was under emotional shock. Now, we've just talked about stress. This is what, when you're in incredible stress for over a long period of time and into survival, this is what it does to your hormones.
Yes.
And so it's a real thing, ladies, and men. It's a real thing that stress can affect us in such a way that it changes us from one day to the other day. Physical things are going to happen to us.
Absolutely, because your body is trying to protect you.
Yes.
And so if it's constantly getting this stress hormone, then it's like we need to shut things down.
Yes.
Um, I'm saying that in a simplistic way, but basically that's what happens because our only job is to survive. Like we don't need to do anything fancy, no problem solving, no loving, no intimacy, no complex anything, just survive. And so, if that message is constantly being given to your body over a period of time, it can make permanent changes. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
What?
we have a community member saying, Mickey, it says, Mickey, my daughter actually loses her period when she's stressed. Did you want to speak to that some?
Yes, absolutely. So, oh, that's my friend Christine. So yes,
Hey,
Christine.
Christine.
Christine is actually in California. Yes, you're in California. So, so yes, this happens often when we're stressed. Again, if the tiger is running after you, certain things are more important. And so the stress hormone will just tune down all of the hormones. And if she was close to her period, which will be the progesterone, then progesterone will be turned down. So for some ladies, it will do two things. It's either you will start your period right away, and then it will be like, those massive bleeding, all of that, very uncomfortable, a lot of PMSs, or you will skip.
Yep.
You will completely your cycle. So it does one of the two things. And I have been in both situations where when I was studying for my 6 years in the DO degrees, whenever I had exams, I will just go on without any period.
Yeah.
Like it will just skip.
So stress has a huge impact on our bodies. And so if you are just joining, what's up, what's up? Welcome. We're talking about, of course, avoiding burnout, but we're really talking about how stress impacts our physical bodies, our mental body, all of that, especially for women 40 and up. If you're not a woman 40 and up, you're still welcome to stay.
Yes, you are.
We're not kicking y'all out. You can sit with us. And so, but we're talking about it from a scientific perspective, from both of our experiences and also from our areas of profession. So I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and a burnout strategist. I also focus a lot on inner love and self-love because all of that definitely leads to avoiding burnout. And Mickey, did you want to update the people, the new people who just joined, who you are, what you do, why we're here?
Yes. So I am Mickey, and I specialize in helping women transition into menopause in a beautiful, meaningful way. And my training is I am a nurse, I am an osteopath, and a health coach. And I love focusing this on, because this is really a special time in a woman's life. Dr. RJ and I are 40 and plus, and we're really loving this decade.
Yes.
And I really think that more people should love it, right? Instead of receiving bad news when you go to the doctor, like, you should expect incredible news. Like, we know now that when we put stress away, when we actually work into living with less stress, we can actually upgrade our life. Like,
Yes.
it's not too late at all. Like, at all. Like, all of this is like reversible with the right strategies. I actually had a question for you, Dr. RJ.
Okay.
I wanted to know, when you work with people that have burnout and you know how terrible it is, will you describe to us how it feels to those people when they are into the burnout state? Like, the difference between I'm stressed and now this is burnout, like this is it.
Yes. So burnout is an advanced form of prolonged stress, and it comes with physiological issues.
Yeah.
And so there's some emotional things that come along with burnout. There's cynicism, there's hopelessness, and then there are physical things like fatigue. There may be a lot of negative self-talk. There may be some depression and anxiety. Now, if we're talking about the difference between stress and burnout, stress is short-term, short-lived. You may feel more anxious. Burnout is more of a, oh, this is awful, it's heavy, you can feel it, and it's hard to shake it off. Stress, we can shake it off, we can do some deep breathing, we can go take a run, we can have a conversation with a good friend. Burnout is going to hang out for a very long time. So you have your cynicism, you have your hopelessness, you have your depression and your fatigue, because it feels like the situation you're in will not change no matter what. Burnout comes from basically ongoing untreated stress. Remember at the beginning, we
Mm-hmm.
said that stress is your body's
Yeah.
response to daily stressors. So you can control how your body responds to stress. One of the things you can say to yourself if you're feeling stressed, because we want to prevent burnout, one of the things you can say is, stress is just a problem to be solved, not a threat to my survival, and I am highly capable of solving problems. So the clients that I work with are mainly women of color, usually 40 and plus. So this was perfect, 40 and plus.
Mm-hmm.
And they've worked their way to the top of the corporate ladder, and they're really, really good at what they do. And they're smart and intelligent and amazing and completely stressed out. And their quality of life is like way below what it should be, because it's work, go home, work, go home. There's not a lot of sleep. There's not a lot of joy, all because of burnout. Now, let me just say this. I know that there are some institutional structures in place that contribute to burnout, but really, y'all, most of it is an inside job,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have more power and control than we give ourselves credit for. Most of burnout is an inside job. Now, again, I know there are some corporations or places out there where there is a lot of things in place, but that's not always the case. Burnout is usually an inside job. And then once we can adjust those things, how you show up in the world, how you deal with those difficulties can reverse the cycle of burnout. So,
This is so good. This is so good. I love how you're saying that, um, those women, like, us women,
yes.
working so hard in our 20s, 30s, proving ourselves and pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. And then you arrive in the 40s and it, like, you don't even know what it is to relax anymore. You don't know what it is to be on vacation.
Yeah.
You don't know how to experience joy anymore because you've got so used to this way of living,
Yep.
which now at this time of your life, it's just painful because it hurts, because it destroys you from the inside.
Yeah.
Now you feel this like heaviness, dissatisfaction for everything.
Yeah. It's like everything gets on your nerves.
Yes,
You're always irritable. And the reason we're talking about it today, everyone, is because for women 40 and up, it's extra dangerous for us
it
because
is.
then we're creating these toxic environments inside of our body that make autoimmune diseases flare up, and then it increases the risk of heart attack, heart disease, stroke, obesity. All of these things, infertility, all of these things, because we've gone for so long running, going nonstop. But
Mm,
now, like, and this is not a blame thing, right? We're here, whatever. But
it's
now
not.
is the time to do something about it. Your 40s can be absolutely amazing. Both of us are examples of that. And again, it's so important health wise that
Yes.
we tackle this stress and burnout issue right now. I would say probably when I turned 40, that's when I started taking exercise really, really seriously. One, because it wasn't as easy to get those 10 pounds off like it was in the 20s and 30s. I was like, wait a minute now, like it's been 3 months, like what's happening? And so that's one. And two, I want to be strong and vibrant and, not like aching when it's time to get up and go somewhere like later on. So it's like planning for the future.
I love that you said. So I was 40 when I started yoga.
Ah, yes, yes. It's time. So y'all get on it. Like whatever you have to do, it's not too late.
It's
So
not too late. And really, it's time to really take care of ourselves because for most of us, our kids are bigger,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you're not getting up during the night anymore to change diapers, all of those things. Like it's done. So it's actually a great time of your life to go back to you and figure out what your body
Yes.
needs and respond to it, to listen to it and to respond to it.
Absolutely. And so, if you're just joining, I would like to gift you all the free Art of Balance guide. All you have to do is text Art of Balance, all one word, to 833-451-4258. We're going to briefly talk about the Art of Balance, which goes into avoiding stress, avoiding burnout, so that you can be fabulous in your 40s and beyond.
Yes.
Again, it's not too late to make changes. And if you're under 40, go ahead and start now. Like you don't have to wait until you're 40 to
No, don't
start the
wait.
habits.
Don't
Don't
wait.
don't wait. Yeah. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Do it now. Right
Do
now.
it now. This is the time. I also wanted to
Yes.
ask you, as we're going into the holidays, I was the other day with my hairdresser, and for her, like it was just so stressful. And I was looking at her and thinking how much joy it is to be in this holiday period where you're seeing your family, where you have more time to be with the loved ones, do activities that you love, where you can lay back and all of that. Yet for a lot of people, the holiday season can be stressful, like from looking for the perfect gift, from, attending all those parties or receptions or hosting all those
Yeah.
receptions. Like so many people are stressed about that. What would you say to them?
I would say first figure out why you're doing all the things.
Mm.
Often it's like perfectionism, and
Ah, I love
perfectionism
that. Yes.
is rooted in shame. It's not like a badge of honor. It's not something we should be like, oh, I'm a perfectionist and all of that. It's rooted in shame because perfectionism is based upon what will they think. And whenever you're
Mm.
relying on someone else's opinion of you, child, you in trouble. Like for real, for real. So it's fine to be a healthy striver. This is Brene Brown's work. She talks
Yes.
about healthy striving all the time. I'm definitely a high achiever, a healthy striver, not a perfectionist, because what will they think does not cross my mind. It's what do I think? How can I show up as my highest self in this space? And so, one way to not have any holiday stress is to let go of the what will they think and have some boundaries. Like, say no to some things. Just because you can do all the
Um,
things doesn't mean that you should. The other thing is, I could go on and on about this because I'm the queen of no. I say no to most things, almost everything. Uh, because when I say yes, I want to be able to show up as my best self. If you're
Mm-hmm.
saying yes to all the things, that's impossible. You show up raggedy and then it's just a mess anyway. You might as well say no. So cut off the holiday stress. Say no to some things. Only do what you really want to do. If you want to do something really well, you got to be rested. You have to be prepared. You can't overbook your calendar. It's not necessary to do all the things. If you want to, fine, but you can't do all the things and then complain and say, oh, they stressed me out. The holidays are awful. Like, no, you did that. Like, that's an
Yes.
inside job. So take some responsibility into knowing what you can tolerate and knowing what your bandwidth is. I know it's like easier said than done, which is why we're going to give you some tips.
Yes.
All right. So if we're talking about balance and talking about the holidays and stress, some of us are addicted to chaos. And so take a look at yourself, right? And we're addicted to chaos either because it's learned behavior. We watched our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunties be chaotic. It's all we know. It gives us our self-worth. That might be one reason. It might be because we don't want to be quiet enough to hear what our own mind thinks because it might be a little scary, or there may be some trauma, or there may be some things going on emotionally that you're trying to avoid. We get addicted to chaos and then we blame it on stress. But this is the thing, y'all. Your body does not know the difference. So all of
It
this
doesn't.
chaos that we're bringing internally will catch up with you. It'll make you what? Old and
And fat. That
yeah.
is so good. Addicted to chaos. Like I
Yes.
love putting it together because it's so true. When I see it often, creating all this noise so that we're away from the inside, so that we
Yes.
don't listen to what is happening inside at emotional level because we don't want to hear it.
Yep. Yeah. And we also ignore our physical bodies.
Yes.
And we have to do better. Now, I will say this again. I'm not like blind to all the things that happen in institutions and society and all of that for women of color. Not saying that. I'm saying we need to focus on what we can control. So yes, I
Yes.
know that the voices of Black women, women of color often are ignored and not heard. Yes, I know that, we're often overlooked, but let's focus on what we can control. We have to first start by listening to our own bodies. We have to first start by not minimizing what we have going on. We have to first start by showing up as our ideal selves, our highest selves, and not just doers and problem solvers and relationship managers and firemen, firefighters, putting out everybody's fires. Like,
Mhm.
we can take control of that.
I love that. I love that because I think so many times we think that we are the one that's going to solve everybody's problem,
Yeah.
right? Like, let me extinguish this fire. There's another fire here. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. And then finally, then we have resentment because
Yes.
we think that everybody's like taking advantage of us.
Yep.
Yet
Or this
we,
is what I hear, Mickey. Do any of your clients say this? Y'all, I love my clients, so I ain't talking bad about my clients. I know some of y'all up here, but let me just go ahead and say
go
this.
ahead.
This is what I hear a lot. Oh, I wish I had a me for me. Have you heard that?
Yes.
It's like, girl, like that. First of all, that's not going to happen. And
No.
second of all, let's manage those expectations. When you're doing something, do it for you, out of
For you.
the kindness of your heart, not because of the expectation of the other person's response. Otherwise, people will run you ragged if you're doing it for their approval, for their work, their validation, their words of affirmation, and all that. You have to do things for yourself.
Which is so, I feel like for our generation and more so even for the generation before us, this is almost like something unknown
Yeah.
to do something for us. And it almost feels like I remember having this conversation with one of my clients. She's like, I feel selfish.
Mm, yeah.
I feel selfish when I do things for me, or I feel selfish if I say no to going to this party because I don't feel like going there. Like I feel like I feel selfish. And it's all about reframing it and saying like, well, if you go being upset or
Hmm.
resentful, how are you actually showing up
Yep.
over there? Like, why?
It's
You know?
selfish to bring that negative non-party energy to the party because you're exhausted. Child, leave that non-party energy at home. We're trying to turn up, right?
Yeah,
It's selfish to show up like halfway.
yeah, it is. Yet we don't realize that, right? Like we don't realize that when we show up and we're not in our best light and that we're not loving and caring as we usually are,
Yeah.
then we are selfish in that way, giving that to the world instead of resting
Yes.
and really choosing. Like you have a choice. There is nothing else that says that you must.
Yep.
There is no, I must do this. I should do this. Like, no, it is a choice that you have.
We have the power to choose.
We do.
Yeah.
We absolutely
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, when someone is in burnout,
Yes.
what would be like the first step for them?
Well, first of all, I think everybody should have a therapist.
Yeah.
I do. Like your friend is not your therapist.
No,
Your
no.
friend is your friend,
Yeah.
right? Let them just be regular. They're not your therapist. They're not qualified. They're not skilled. And even if your friend is a therapist, they're not your therapist. Some sort of counselor or advisor or therapist or coach, everyone deserves that in one capacity or form
Mhm.
or another. However, sometimes that's not always possible. So, some things that you can do for yourself. One, I say, is to journal, right? Journaling. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like to journal. I don't know what to write. Whatever. There's so many ways to journal, but it's important to acknowledge gratitude on a daily basis. Joy
Yeah.
does not happen without
Yeah.
gratitude. It just doesn't. It's impossible. And so, your journal can just be a gratitude journal. Every day, get up and write 3 things you're thankful for or
Yeah.
you're grateful for. Anything, right? Your journal can be what I use, the 5 minute journal, where it's 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, where I'm capturing my day very quick because I don't really have more than 5 minutes. I got other stuff I want to do. And so I'm quick with mine, the 5 minute journal. Some people process journal. That's the Dear Diary journaling. Some
Yes.
people do that. Some people bullet journal, and it's just writing down bullet points of your thoughts during the day. Some people do a brain dump. I'm saying all that to say I can go on and on and on and on. Journal in some sort of form every single day because you have to check in with yourself to even know what's happening. You're not going to know if you're
Yeah.
headed to burnout if you're just running, passing out, running, passing out. Like you just don't know. And so some sort of introspection. Um,
I love that. I love what you're saying. Again, here it's something very
yes.
simple, right? It's
Yeah.
not hard. It's not hard. Like writing it out so that you actually know where you're standing,
Yeah.
so that you're checking inside. Like it, I think that this should be taught like at school. As
Absolutely. Journaling
it's
and meditation.
yes, it's life skills.
Yeah.
Like this is life skills. Like we need to grow up. Like our kids need to grow up with this as tool in their tool belt and being used to using it daily as just a way of living.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, if you're just joining, we're talking about ways to combat stress, burnout, those sorts of things, especially for women over 40, because once you hit 40, there are some physiological changes that are starting to happen, and stress becomes more dangerous to us as we're aging. So, if you're joining, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um,
Uh,
we're glad to have you. So, journaling, of course, seeing a therapist, journaling. Also, if we want to manage stress, deal with burnout, is to take good care of your mind, body, and your spirit. So, true wellness has those 3 things: your mind, your body, and your spirit. It's not like one or the other. Moving your body, exercising, being intentional about engaging your body in some sort of way on a daily basis. Now, let me tell y'all, I am not a fan of exercise. And I do it because I want to be strong, I want to be healthy, and I don't want to be sick. Like I
yes.
so I do it. So I'm not like some people love it. It's fine. But I don't love it. I do it anyway, and I'm not going to stop doing it because it's a requirement for my health. Just like drinking water. I'd much rather have tequila. Gotta drink the water because I want my skin to look good. I want to be healthy. I don't want to be like sick. So I'm saying all
Or
this to
like the
say,
veggies,
oh
right?
yeah,
It goes the same thing with the veggies.
yeah,
Like you do it at our age, like things starts to click
yes,
very quick, and and we 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 just have those reasons because we now know the impact that it has overall on our health, right? Like
yes,
if you drink water all day, you'll be hydrated, your skin will be beautiful. Not only that, your brain is going to it's going to be more sharper, and so your mood also is going to be better. Like you
yes,
exercise, you feel better, you produce more endorphin, like you sleep better, like overall, all of that. And so it's a great trade-off of like, you know, if you see it as sacrificing 15 minutes or 20 minutes, like you just put your good
yep.
music or however you need to do it, but just go and do it.
Yes, absolutely. It's just, I tell people all the time, motivation is not a requirement. Discipline is.
Yeah.
Discipline and routines. Like, you don't have to like doing stuff like that. I think that's like this whole false thing. You have to like it. You got to be motivated. You got to be, no, just do it. Do it and keep it moving. Um,
Or
get it done.
do any of your kids will say to you, my kids say that, oh, I don't feel like this.
Yeah, all the time. And I'm like, that's not a requirement for you to do it.
And
Just do it.
I always tell them, I said, well, that's a great awareness for you, not just go and do, you know,
Yeah.
good for you for noticing it, not just go and do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
most of us don't feel like doing this either. Like, I've never liked the dishes. I may not never like it my
Yeah.
whole life.
Still do
It's
it. It has to
just,
get done.
it just has to be done. When someone is not doing it, well, someone needs to do it. It just
Yes.
needs to be done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so stress, again, it's just your body's response to a situation or a stressor. If you guys are just joining, you've missed all the fun we had talking about what stress really is. Watch the replay later. And so, something really quickly, if we're talking about practical tips,
Yes.
um, if in order to deal with burnout, to have the art of balance, you have to have three things. Don't worry about taking notes, because if you text art of balance to 833-451-4258, you'll get a free guide and I'll have it all nice and packaged for you. But you have to have three components. A, for authenticity. Be yourself, show up as your highest self. The only way you can do that is if you're journaling, getting in touch with yourself, spending time with yourself, meditating, right? The
Mm.
R is for relentless rest. Get some rest. Whereas it's sensory rest, there's physical rest, there's mental rest, there's spiritual rest, there's creative rest. All types of rest. Get the rest. And then finally, time consciousness. Often we have these to-do lists that are so long. I'm just like, why you got all that on your to-do list? Like, it's not even necessary. Like, Mickey, why do we do that as women? Why do you think we do it as women, putting all this stuff on the list? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. We might have learned it from mom. Maybe mom was doing it in a way that it was efficient. I don't think for my mom it wasn't efficient. So,
Yeah.
and
I don't
I
think for
just feel like,
anybody is efficient.
and isn't it discouraging to see that you can just cross three things and then the rest of it is undone?
Yeah. It's too much.
It's
And
too
I think
much.
it's because we find our value in what we can do for others instead of finding our value in how we can impact others,
Yeah,
right? Impact doesn't
love
mean
that.
doing, right? It's not an actual task doer. I don't really run errands. I don't do that kind of stuff, because I need to save my energy and my bandwidth for actual impact, right? And
Yes.
so anyhow, I could go down a whole rabbit hole about errands and doing all the things. So art of balance, authenticity, relentless rest, time consciousness. And that's how you can avoid burnout, manage your stress, and then make sure you're entering and enjoying your fabulous 40s, in
Yeah.
all the ways that you deserve.
And really, 40 gets to be in incredible chapter because you know who you are.
Yeah.
Hopefully you know who you are. You've done all this hard work. You have life experience. You've gone through a ranges of emotions and all of that. And you know yourself so well that you know what brings you joy. You know you want to impact. You know the purpose. You have purpose now, and it gets to be a wonderful chapter of your life. And so you really want to go through it without the stress that will age you and make you fat,
Yes.
right? And you want the longevity. Like you want to have a functional body that's strong, beautiful, confident, that will go with you so that you can actually enjoy everything that you want to do because you're still young.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And now I know we're talking about stress and burnout, but what are some practical things we can do with our bodies or hormonally that will also help? Asking for a friend.
I love that. Okay, so this is my jam. I love preaching about this.
Yes.
So I think that for us as women, we need to prioritize producing oxytocin. If you missed it, it was somewhere during this discussion where we spoke about how oxytocin is produced. It's the love hormone. So prioritize in your day. Be very, very intentional at hugging. Like physical contact is important for us, for every human body, and we actually see that in animals as
Yes.
well. Physical contact is so important. And I think that even more in our fast-paced society, we even need it more because we have the cell phone all the time. So chatting with your girlfriend on the phone, it's not the same thing as actually being next to her. And when you're sitting next to someone, make it a point to actually touch the person. Like, squeeze in, like enter everybody.
What about the people who don't like? So let me just say this. My love language is touch. I'm a toucher. I'm a hugger.
That's why I was the last time.
Right, I know. Wait. Yes. So what about the people who don't really like that though? How can they get their healthy dose of whatever if they don't like all that touching and hugging and stuff? Because there are some people who don't.
No. So they can have conversation, deep conversation on things that really matter. So this is not just talking about, what's going on in the world, but really talking about you, your dreams, like things that light you up inside. This is a meaningful conversation. Sharing stories between two friends, like this is a meaningful conversation. Or sharing an activity together. If your best friend really likes to do yoga, then you go and you do yoga together. This will be a beautiful time together. So all of this produces oxytocin. Or, some people like better petting their animals, right? Like their pet, their dog. I have a dog and a cat, and like some of my kids really, really love to hold a dog. And so for them, this is a great way of producing oxytocin. Of course, meditation. We've mentioned it. And if you are not into meditation, I will encourage you to be a little bit more curious about it because the benefit of it in terms of reducing the stress, in terms of, creating more of the happy hormone inside of us, it's amazing. And so meditation do create more oxytocin in our lives.
Yes.
So that's the thing that I usually tell. Of course, make sure that you actually take care of your body, right? Do the things that you love. So usually what I tell people, if you're not into physical activity, into like, going to the gyms and like working out, park, all of that, then just have movement. And see the sun, like have some sunlight touching your skin. Yeah. Make sure that you actually spend time outside. Not only is it good for the vitamin D production, but it's also very good for your circadian rhythm, which tells your brain that this is actually daytime. I get to be more active. I produce certain level of hormones, and now it's dark. Now it's time to tune down and to relax.
Yes.
The other thing is, have a routine of tuning down. It can include journaling. Like I love journaling like you, Dr. RJ, morning and evening. Like it's part of my routine. Like journal, turn off all the electronics. Like, no one is gonna want to work with you like at midnight or like 10 p.m., all of that. Like none of us should be doing that. Like, this is really a time to just decrease the level of activity so that we can rest. Like, this is, and see rest as a time, a gift to you. This is a
Yeah.
gift that you get to give your whole being. Like, when you are rested, and you probably have noticed that, the next day you are this amazing person.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I
so,
I don't play about my sleep, so that's probably why I'm
me
so
too.
amazing.
I, me too. Like, I don't mess up with my sleep. Like, if I need extra, I need.
And absolutely amazing. I'm so glad we finally got together. We're going to do this again and again and again and again. So for the people who are joining, where y'all been? Y'all late. We're about to end. No, I'm just joking. You can watch the replay, but make sure you're following both of us. You just hit this little button up here, and then Mickey, can tell people where to follow you. I go, oh wait, they can just see you. Follow, hit
Yes,
that thing and follow.
yes.
And so yes, yes, yes. And so, finally, of course, again, I'm Dr. RJ. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, burnout strategist, all things balance, self love, self care, all for the purpose of living your best balanced life on your own terms. And so, it has been amazing being here with you all tonight. I'm going to, after, of course, Mickey's going to close us out, but I don't really play about my bedtime. So at 8 o'clock, it's a hard stop for me. I'm gonna go watch a Christmas movie and then head on to bed. So
Yes.
that's it for me. Oh
All
wait, wait,
right.
wait, wait.
So, yes.
Mickey, I forgot. My pinned comment is gone. It was there and then it left when I because I was deleting somebody from the live because they was up here acting crazy. But anyhow, if you missed it, I have a free um Art of Balance guide for you. Just text Art of Balance to 833-451-4258. And so if you missed it, you can just get your free guide and you'll be plugged right in. So I'm done.
Perfect. It's been a pleasure to hang out with you, Dr. RJ. I love you, love you, love you, love you. I genuinely love you. And it's been so wonderful to have this time together. Again, I am Miki Sungza. I am a nurse and osteopath from Canada. And here in the US, I work as a life coach, specifically for women over 40 and plus, helping us navigate through transitioning into menopause so that we can really stand in our greatness with all the vitality, energy, and really have this next chapter of our life being fabulous. And
Yes.
so this is it for us. It's been wonderful to be with all of you, and we love all of you. Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Make sure you watch the replay and share it with your friends. We'll post it. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Dr.
Bye.
J.
Bye.